There is a specific part of our world that every major superpower is watching right now. It is a tiny strip of land, roughly the size of New Jersey, tucked away in the Horn of Africa. To most people, its name is unfamiliar, but to the world's generals and trade ministers, it is the most important real estate on the planet. This is Djibouti. To understand why everyone is obsessed with this place, you first have to look at its geography. Djibouti sits directly on the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait, a name that translates to the Gate of Tears. This narrow choke point connects the Indian Ocean to the Red Sea, and ultimately through the Suez Canal to the Mediterranean and Europe. Every single day, millions of barrels of oil and 30% of all global container ships squeeze through this narrow gap. It is the jugular vein of global commerce. If this vein is pinched, the global economy begins to bleed. In recent years, we have seen exactly how fragile this system is. Just across the water in Yemen, civil war and rebel groups have launched rockets at cargo ships, forcing the world's largest shipping companies to take the long way around Africa, adding weeks to travel times and billions to costs. To the north, piracy once cost the world hundreds of millions in ransoms. In a region defined by failed states and proxy wars, Djibouti has emerged as a bizarre beacon of stability. But this stability is not natural. It is bought and paid for by the world's most powerful militaries. Djibouti is the only place on Earth where you will find a massive United States military base, sitting just a few miles down the road from a massive Chinese military base. They aren't alone. Japan has its only overseas base here. France, Italy, and Spain all maintain a permanent presence. This tiny nation has essentially turned its sovereign territory into a giant military parking lot, leasing out land to rival superpowers who are technically at each other's throats everywhere else in the world. For Djibouti, this is a survival strategy. When you have no oil, no gold, and almost no farmable land, your only resource is your coordinates on a map. By inviting everyone in, Djibouti has created a shield of many colors. If any neighbor tries to invade, they aren't just invading a small African nation. They are potentially picking a fight with the US, China, and the EU all at once. It is a masterclass in geopolitical balancing, but it comes with a heavy price. The rent from these bases props up a government that has been in power for over 25 years, leading to questions about human rights and the lack of democratic freedom for the million people who actually live there. While the elites in the capital negotiate multi-billion-dollar infrastructure deals with Beijing, the average citizen still struggles with extreme poverty. This brings us to the most complex layer of the story, the transition of the global order. For decades, these bases operated under a shared incentive to keep trade flowing. But as the rivalry between the West and China heats up, the atmosphere in Djibouti is changing. It is no longer just about policing pirates. It is about strategic competition. China has used its presence here to build massive ports, railways, and pipelines, effectively indebting the country and securing a permanent foothold in the gateway to Africa. The US views this with growing alarm, seeing its influence slip in a region it once dominated. We are moving away from a world where everyone follows the same set of rules, and toward a world where great powers are racing to secure vital choke points. Djibouti is the ultimate laboratory for this new era. It is a place where the 21st century's biggest tensions are packed into a single, dusty coastline. Can this tiny country continue to play both sides indefinitely, or will it eventually be forced to choose a side, shattering the delicate peace that keeps the world's goods moving? As the Gate of Tears becomes more crowded, the stakes for the global economy have never been higher. Djibouti may be small, but what happens on its shores will determine the price of the fuel in your car and the phone in your pocket for decades to come. This is the reality of modern geopolitics. Geography is destiny, and right now destiny is being written in the sand of Djibouti.